During my early 20s, I worked as a meter reader in Iowa City, Iowa. A meter reader is the person who records how much electricity, gas, or water you've used each month. If your meters are on the inside and you want an accurate bill, a meter reader must enter your home whether you're there to let them in or not. Just to clarify, we only entered homes if consent was given when the customer first signed up for service. Customers also provided us with keys if necessary. Entering a home when the owner wasn't there is something that I never got used to. No matter how loudly I knocked, I never shook the uneasy feeling that I wasn't welcome. The inside of a home is the ultimate private space. A home's exterior is just the image of ourselves that we project to the rest of the world. But the further you venture inside, the closer you come to truly seeing what kind of person lives there. And if you want the raw, unfiltered truth, head for the basement. I really hate basements. I've seen walls that look like giant static-filled TV screens, only until I realized it was roaches scurrying across a white background.
Way to pick the creepiest picture possible for this story, bro.
Cobwebs so thick and dusty that it looked like the cotton candy machine exploded at the Spider County Fair. I've seen rats, snakes, feces, weapons, neglected children, abused pets, homeless squatters, massive hordes, bizarre sexual items, a makeshift meth lab, and even a coffin. There are usually rational explanations for all of these things. Well, maybe not the coffin, but there was one basement where what I found was beyond the grasp of logic, and that's what made it so terrifying. It was an old apartment house. From the outside, it looked like every other house on the block. I entered the back door and found myself at the top of a staircase. I ran my hand along the wall until it grazed a light switch. I flipped the switch, but no lights turned on. I wasn't carrying a flashlight. It involved 5 or 6 hours of walking, so I carried as little as possible. Oftentimes, I used the light from my handheld screen, but it only illuminated whatever was about a foot in front of it. So, armed with the world's worst lantern, I made my way down into the darkness. Once at the bottom, I blindly shuffled across the room, one baby step at a time. With my arms outstretched and head down, I eventually reached the far side of the basement. I shined the dim light from my handheld along the wall and discovered 2 doors. Each door led into its own small room. I chose the door on the right and I found the meter in the far corner. As I entered the reads, I began hearing noises coming from the other room. Something was moving and there was whimpering that grew louder the longer I listened. I eventually realized that it was a dog. It sounded weak and distressed. I tried to open the door, but it was locked. At this point, the dog was scratching the other side of the door. I felt helpless. I reported it when I got back to the office, but I couldn't shake the thought of that dog. It stuck with me over the next month.
Yeah, damn that. Doing way too much.
Until it was time to return. So there I was, 1 month later, back within that basement. My curiosity got the best of me. I stood outside the door for a few moments, listening. Still nothing. That's when I made a huge mistake. I tried to open the door. I had no more than jiggled the doorknob when I first heard it. Screams. Blood-curdling screams unlike anything I'd ever heard. Sounds that I didn't think a human was even capable of producing. Short, piercing, high-pitched shrieks followed abruptly by a low, drawn-out, guttural moan.
Bye-bye again.
That ultimately formed into something that I can only describe as crying, but much
There
louder.
we go.
It was all over the place, like some sort of psychotic, free-form jazz. I stumbled backwards, nearly losing my balance. I shouted something like, there was no doubt that I yelled loud enough for him to hear me. He didn't want my help, he wanted me gone. I fumbled my way through the darkened room toward the exit. When I reached the top of the stairs, I just stood there, listening. I was trying to wrap my mind around what I was hearing. I waited for the screaming to stop, but it never did. When I finally left, it was still as loud and demented as when it began. I felt relieved, but that quickly vanished when I realized I had to do it all over again next month. I report...
The hell you do? Hey, there's not enough money in the world.
If you are gonna watch my stream, watch it with muted, or you're gonna hear me 2 times.
What kind of lunatic sits alone in total darkness and silence? My mind created endless explanations for what kind of hell lay beyond that door. There was no sign of him the next month, or even the next several months.
No, I don't mean turn it down.
I had given up on solving the mystery when a stroke of luck pulled me back in. I didn't pay much attention to where she was leading me, until she pointed to a house a little bit up the street.
But I do.
I couldn't believe it. She had moved into the house with the mysterious room in the basement. I said to her,
but I do.
This sounds weird, but have you noticed anything odd about the basement at this? But before I could finish my sentence, she blurted out that there was a crazy guy who lives down there. Finally, I had confirmation. She went on to tell me that even though her apartment was in the attic, she often heard him yelling late at night. But that wasn't all. She had actually met him. One day, while walking to her car, she saw him standing in the lawn. He stood perfectly still, with no expression on his face. He was directly in her path, so she cautiously made her way around him. She noticed he was staring at her, so she offered a friendly hi as she passed. He had no reaction, except for one unsettling exception. He stuck out his tongue, then quickly sucked it back into his mouth and resumed acting like a statue. Thoroughly creeped out, she got into her car and drove away. 2 or 3 months later, I finally met him myself. I entered the back door like I had done so many months before. This time, something was different. There was a light on in the basement. I peered down the staircase. At the bottom, a ragged-looking dog was staring back at me. It was the same dog I'd heard during my first visit. Then I noticed something else. Behind the dog, I could see a pair of bare feet. The ceiling blocked my view of the rest of the standing there, but it didn't matter. I knew it was him. I should have left right then, but I didn't. I know this probably doesn't make any sense, but I shakily called out, "Hey, I'm the meter reader," and started to make my descent. As I made my way down, more of him was revealed. He looked to be middle-aged, his head was shaved, and his eyes were wild. He was wearing pants, but no shirt.
I don't want to play Border.
Who I was and what I was doing.
Well, you're watching now, right?
He was constantly wringing his hands together and spastically cocking his head from side to side. The longer he talked, the more agitated he became.
I like finding people with the Fortnite icon.
And he followed. His verbal outbursts grew louder and more frequent. I was petrified.
Every time I find somebody with the Fortnite icon, I look up the stats.
To an end and said goodbye.
So far, the best person I found had 196 wins.
Hold it in. Screams. The very same unforgettable.
Savage underscore Kings 22.
I ran.
Bet. What the fuck?
Barricade the room. We need to protect the biohazard container.
Okay. What is this dude doing, bro? You gotta wait until the fucking reinforcements are up, dumbass. You retard. But what level is this dude? You're level 108. You are stupid. You stupid. You are stupid. Hey, chill, not shooting. 608. Oh, you look him up?
10 seconds left.
Ah, he's only a ranger? Ah, fuck him. I don't care about him then. You don't count.
Has located the biohazard container.
So it's mostly squad. Your mic is so laggy. good.
They've ceased attempting to secure the container.
Oh my god, what?
Securing the container.
Huh? Yeah. This dude just got like the luckiest fucking kill on me ever. I didn't have time to go get my fucking armor, so. Yay, I have a second viewer. What a rebel I am. Oh, he got hit by the welcome mat. No way. You dumbass, look down.
I'll get you sorted.
Look down. He got hit by the welcome mat. There we go. There we go. 1 HP, I'm done. I'm done, bro. He's at 1 HP. Can these guys clutch it up? It's a real question right now. 2v1 and they're both low in health. And don't know how low. Holy shit. Yo, whoever the other person is that's watching, can you please comment down below? Never mind, you're not even watching anymore. I'm not sure if you noticed this, Alex, but I put hashtag better than somebody in all my fucking streams. But Smitty, he's a fucking straight up god at this game. Because he's the only fucking YouTuber I watch that plays this game. I don't know. Why not?
10 seconds to go.
Oh, here we go. Lachlan. Oh, I know you. Okay, yo, what's up, Corin? Dude, you stupid.
Protect the Op 4 is securing the biohazard.
And in this bitch, what the fuck are you doing, bro? What are you doing? This bitch just went AFK for no fucking reason. What the fuck? He just let him fucking secure the area, you retard. This dude's stupid. This dude's stupid. You stupid. I gotta play as a Canadian people. Cause if not, it's not right.
Siri, call Max.
What up?
Dude, come downstairs. Chuck Norris is across.
Either it's that, I don't know, cause Minecraft is 20, this is like 40, so.
Zoologists believe that the
Yeah.
megalodon could still be alive today in some of the deeper parts of the ocean.
Cause I don't know, I rage quit to Minecraft or fucking Rainbow, so. But I rage quit more than Minecraft since I'm getting back into Minecraft.
Now the reason for that more than likely is because deep water gives me anxiety. I'm scared of it, you know what I mean? I don't even like saying it out loud, but we all know it's...
See, I come in and out of Minecraft and Rainbow, so.
Freaks me out. Alright? So, with that being said, let's do this before I lose my nerve, yo. Let's get it poppin'.
5 extremely creepy sea creatures. Number 5, the Ninja. This creature from the depths of the ocean may be just about the
Your
creepiest thing
mic's
you'll ever
lagging.
see.
Again, just
The
unplug
reason
and plug
for
it back
this
in.
is that it looks just like a human, even having strange limbs that resemble arms and legs. The name Ninja is
Yeah.
actually human in Japanese. However, there is no...
Okay, so there's underwater Slender Man now. Thank you so much, Elite Facts. Just another reason why I don't get the large bodies in the water.
need to panic and worry that the world will be taken over by strange alien sea creatures, because there have never been any official sightings of this little beastie. And general opinion is that it's just a freaky urban myth, much like the mermaid.
Oh my fucking god, dude, these guys are really roamers.
Mantis shrimp.
It's fucking retarded.
This huge little creature is not as nice as it looks. It's actually extremely clever and horribly dangerous. One of its main talents is being able to see colors that far surpass even the furthest imagination of humans. As well as, it's an efficient killing machine. It has two appendages at the front of its body, which can lash out so powerfully that they cause the water surrounding the creature to reach boiling point. So even the clever prey that have managed to avoid the physical attack will be rendered defenseless by the boiling water. Number 3. Pelican eel. Eels in general are quite creepy looking, but this one is taking it to another level. This slippery character is basically just a huge mouth with a tail attached. The mouth itself is absolutely terrifying. It unhinges so its owner can catch prey that is twice its size. The chosen prey is then stored in a pouch within the lower jaw. However, the tail can be just as weird, as it possesses a small light-producing organ that is called a photophore and gives off an eerie pink glow. Number 2. Humpback anglerfish. The female of this species most certainly has a license to kill. She uses her feminine charm, which comes in the form of a bioluminescent lure dangling over her forehead, to draw in prey that she can destroy with her rows of ferocious teeth.
So it's not that far from human females, apparently.
There we go. About time he actually clutched them
Number
out.
1. Predatory tunicate. This is basically a Venus flytrap that lives underwater. They are almost completely translucent and stick themselves to the seafloor and wait patiently for a tasty meal to come along. Once an unsuspecting critter falls for the trap, the creatures snap their hoods shut until they've had their fill.
Okay, that wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was, but it's only because dude didn't have a lot.
You know the Type 100?
The ocean can be a scary place, but nothing comes close to the giant creatures that used to lurk below.
I can use that in this game with my character that I'm using right now.
Oh, crap. Okay. Oh.
If you're still gonna be watching the stream, I could show you.
Number 9. Predator X. The Predator X is the most powerful marine reptile ever discovered. Over 15 meters long and weighing about 4 tons, it was twice as big as most Jurassic predators. The giant reptile,
What would you do if I would take my account, change my password from Gage, and then, what's it called, give you my account so then you can get Minecraft and Rainbow.
4 times as powerful as the Tyrannosaurus Rex, although I prefer the name Predator X. Studies of the brain cavity of Predator X has revealed that its brain was actually similar to a much smaller great white shark. In 2006, scientists found 2 massive pliosaur skeletons in Norway. The giant creatures looked slightly different from other pliosaurs discovered in England and France over the last century and a half.
Who the fuck am I?
The pliosaur family had short necks and 4 large paddle-shaped limbs like a turtle that allowed them to move up to 5 meters per second. The newly discovered Funke species likely lived closer to 145 million years ago and ate plesiosaurs, related long-necked, small-headed reptiles. The new analysis shows P. funke had longer front paddles than other pliosaurs and different teeth. This predator is still bigger than the largest living apex predator, the killer whale, which topped out at about 9 meters long. Number 8. Plesiosaurs. Plesiosaurs were a group of marine reptiles or dinosaurs that weren't actually dinosaurs but lived at the same time during the Jurassic period. It had a tiny head and a long neck, paddle flippers, and a tail. Even though it was smaller than Predator X, its mouth was full of meat during the Jurassic period. It had a tiny head and a long neck, paddle flippers, and a tail. Even though it was smaller than Predator X, Its mouth was full of needle-like teeth pointing.
Yeah, I just get 3 kills like that.
For prey and for ripping flesh.
This one it was only 2, but could have been 3.
The fossil was discovered with the bones of an embryo in its abdomen, proving that the animal gave birth to live young. This creature seems to have somehow given rise to the Loch Ness Monster, as the physical description is very similar. Plesiosaurs would swallow stones weighing about 5 pounds to help them digest their prey. If there was one plesiosaur you needed to watch out for, it was Liopleurodon. This carnivorous beast could weigh over 3,500 pounds and reach over 30 feet in length, including jaws that are believed to be 10 feet alone, complete, of course, with a very wide jaw and several rows of razor-sharp teeth. Their bodies consisted of a unique design for limbs, which has been tested and proven on small swimming.
There's an iffy about it.
Would not have been super fast, but they were terrifyingly agile. Most likely, they hunted similar to the crocodiles of today, with short and fast burst attacks.
Bro, where they getting these pictures at, yo? I don't do none of this. This ain't how I do, man. I appreciate the lack of demonstrations they have, but I don't. No, these pictures.
See, I didn't really use it much, so I don't really know.
Perfect for any underwater haunted aquarium. Number 7. Giant sea scorpion. Since there's no way I can pronounce this, we'll just call this one the giant sea scorpion. Larger than a human and about the size of a crocodile, the 350-year-old sea scorpion was the top predator of its day. This was one of the 2 largest arthropods. It's
good if you got a trigger finger, but if you don't have a really good trigger finger, then
most of us freak
big
out
mishap.
So it's easy to imagine screaming like a banshee.
Yeah. I have a really fast trigger finger, so.
Spiders, bro. Like anything smaller than me that moves faster than me, I don't like it.
If you ever swam by one of these, a huge fossilized spiky claw discovered in.
This bitch has like fucking every single epic. What the fuck? If you want to know what the fuck that epic is, it's like a uniform that you have to pay like real money for.
Years now, but it wasn't until this discovery that
for characters
realized just how big some of these creepy crawlies can get. The next biggest fossil arthropods were massive millipedes that grew more than 2 meters long.
Good work.
Number 6, Basilosaurus. The
Shake it up. Oh, you good. Shake it up. We're gonna have to watch some cat pictures after this one, yo. That's real. That's the, you know what I mean?
That was Castle? I thought that was a girl.
Basilosaurus name and appearance make it seem like an ancient reptile, but it's actually a bloodthirsty ancestor of today's whales. It's ironic its name means king lizard, but
music, man!
That's because when it was discovered by Richard Owen in 1834, it was thought to be a reptile. It wasn't until over 10 years later that he discovered it was actually a mammal and tried to rename it the Zeuglodon, meaning yolk tooth, but that didn't really catch on. It's the closest a whale has ever come to being a snake due to its long eel-like body, averaging about 65 feet long, complete with a narrow snout and jaw full of large, spiky teeth. It most likely ate other kinds of prehistoric mammals as its main food source. Its skeletal structure was surprisingly weak for its size and power. Its vertebrae was actually hollow, so it stayed near the water surface where the pressure was at its head, waiting for up.
Oh, man. Oh.
Ask me.
Why does this work? Bro, this legit works. Oh, wait, this is an airplane.
Oh my god, of course. From fucking behind every time.
I immediately feel so much better, bro. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Is it because I have cats, bro? Oh.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddies.
Oh, this was a sandwich. They see this is cat picture therapy.
friendly last
That is so
operator standing.
real. Oh, this was a rabbit. Very confused rabbit. Oh. Oh, yes. Oh, cat pictures. Okay, there it is. Yep. No, this one's got a rabbit friend. Isn't that pretty? We back in there, people. Oh, man.
Other whales to come up for air. Luckily, we weren't around back then because I don't know if our ships would be able to handle a cannibalistic 65-foot-long alligator, eel, snake, whale thing. Physical evidence shows that the basilosaur weren't very smart and they didn't have the cognitive ability of today's whales, nor did they have echolocation. Strangely enough, they only navigated in 2 dimensions, so they didn't do any deep diving or breaching. Weird. Number 5. Dunkleosteus. The Dunkleosteus existed during the Devonian period when vertebrates were just starting to live on land, but Dunkleosteus was much more evolved. It was around 30 feet long and didn't have teeth, but instead bony plates like turtles today, which combined with an 8,000-pound bite force made for an extremely unfair fight. There were many bony armored fish in the ocean in those days, and the strong bite would crush.
Can I have some less?
Crush the chunky exterior, making its prey more edible. Dunkle's head and neck was protected by a hard shield which also helped to concentrate its immensely powerful biting muscles. The Dunkleosteus is right up there with the crocodile and T-Rex for history's strongest biters, and I'm sure if it were around today it would hold that title proud. Based on evidence from their skull regarding musculature, it is believed that the Dunkleosteus could open its mouth in 1/50th of a second. During its years on Earth, the Dunkleosteus plates that made up its teeth changed to allow it to hold its prey more easily as it tried to escape for dear life. It is only once the Dunkleosteus went extinct that sharks became the dominant predators they are today. Number 4. Megalodon. Thanks to Shark Week on the Discovery Channel, the Megalodon is now a very famous ancient sea beast. It could reach over 60 feet in length and was about 3 to 5 times the size of today's great white shark. Weighing as much as 100 tons, it had the most powerful bite of any creature that has ever lived. In the massive 7-foot jaws of the Megalodon, there were 5 rows of around 276 compressed blade-like teeth that were made for cutting and grasping powerful prey. Its bite was strong enough to crush a car and was much stronger than that of the great white shark and even Tyrannosaurus rex. Because shark skeletons are mostly cartilage, the only evidence of the Megalodon we have today is teeth, jaw fragments, and some vertebrae.
You know that AK-74U?
Megalodon could still be alive today in some of the
That's basically what I'm using right now.
Although it isn't very likely. There have been some reports of a huge shark, most recently near the Sea of Cortez.
Okay, that's 100% CGI. See, you know what I mean? Like, if it looks super duper unrealistic, even I don't fall for that. But honestly, there's no telling because I've fallen for that before.
Like the Leviathan, the Megalodon hunted near the surface.
No.
Over the years, it developed a unique hunting technique, one that included erupting like a rocket from the depths of the ocean to slam into the bellies of whales near the surface. This idea comes from fossil evidence showing ancient whale vertebrae to have compression damage that seems to have been caused by a tremendous blow from beneath. For larger victims, they would bite off the fins and tail and then beat it into submission before eating it. The Megalodon died off about 2.6 million years ago, which means it ate animals that are still around today, like whales, porpoises, and seals. So why did the Megalodon die off and how
I'm gonna take that one out, man. That was...
creatures that lived around the same time survived? It's likely that the changing temperatures of water of the last ice age and declining food supplies, probably because it was eating everything in sight, led the monster shark to extinction. Number 3, Leviathan Melville.
No! Savage King killed me. What a
This
faggot.
prehistoric predatory whale had the largest functional teeth ever known, some measuring over a foot long.
Damn it, dude. I even knocked the dock, too.
We now know that it was one of the most fearsome predators in the ocean and lived around the same time as the megalodon and competed for the same food. If they
You
came face to
retard.
face, I wonder who would win this
This
epic
dude
battle.
always lasts
Weighing
alive.
up to 50 tons, their head alone was about 10 feet long, and it seems like they were
And then he always fucking loses it, dude.
equipment as modern
The fuck? I'm gonna play
weapons.
Minecraft.
They
Fuck
relied
this
on
shit.
surface